I'll give you kind of a similar example. Let's say you have a soap bubble and it's filled with air. And the soap bubble thinks, oh, I'm the soap bubble. You pop the film, the soap bubble, then the air is unified with the air. So does the individual soap bubble actually exist, or is there really only one infinite air? So similarly, you can dissolve your feeling of individual consciousness to experience the whole, just like popping the soap bubble. And this is, I will say this as a caveat, this is a philosophy at first. But if you really go with the meditation that we just did, and you really go deeply with it, that can be your direct experience. That's why we did the meditation. You know how I said the idea of time and letting go of time? Time only exists within the mind. The mind feels, the mind thinks this thought, then this thought, then this thought, and it feels like a trail of thoughts, and therefore it creates time. So time only exists because there's a trail of thoughts. But when the thoughts become still, when it all becomes still, you don't experience time anymore, and you realize that time actually does not exist. That it's not real. The body may be subject to time. It may get gray hairs and things like that. But you don't. You're not subject to time. Beyond time. So our consciousness gets caught in time and space, distance and location in a individual entity person. And that's where all the trouble is. So if you want to truly break out of, let's say, the kind of suffering of birth and death and all the experiences of life, if you really want to break through, then one must realize this reality that I'm speaking of, which is beyond your mind, which is where your mind comes from, the very source of who you are. And people have lost their source because we get caught so much in thinking and so much in how important the ducks are. You know? So important that life goes just right. So you get your whole life going comfortably and just right, and then at the end of life, you go, oh, I did it. I achieved such a comfortable life. That was great. You know how they say, some of those quotes about when I get old, oh God, I wish I had more ice cream. I wish I had gone more vacations. I wish I had done my whole bucket list, but now I'm dying and I didn't achieve that. So what? You achieve all that. Then what? Do it again and again, ad nauseum, which you have been doing, each one of us, for millions of lifetimes, chasing after these things. You will come to the point when you will ask, what next?